Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Oh, okay.
Today we're going to be looking at what seemed like a really promising venture
Oh,
in sustainable agriculture, but things took a bit of a turn, and we're going to be kind of looking at how this potential investment scheme
mm-hmm.
kind of unfolded. So we're going to be examining the Clean Food Growing Company Limited, or TCFGC,
Okay.
and trying to understand how a company with seemingly so much potential could end up raising so many red flags.
Right.
Um, Joining me today to kind of navigate this whole complex financial web is an expert in insolvency and financial investigations.
Oh, great.
It's great to have you here with us.
Glad to be here. Yeah, I think this is a case that really highlights the importance of due diligence and really just critical thinking when it comes to, making investments.
Absolutely. So let's start with what we know.
Okay.
TCFGC presented itself as this innovative company,
Yeah.
really focused on sustainable agriculture. And they seem to have a strong leadership team, a really compelling vision for the future of food production.
Right.
But what's the reality beneath that initial impression?
Well, I mean, the reality is a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
While TCFGC did do, a great job of marketing themselves, their leadership and financial stability, it raises some serious concerns.
Yeah, and at the center of these concerns is a man named Abbey King Kawaja, who became a director at TCFGC in April 2023.
Right.
What makes his involvement so troubling?
Well, what's particularly alarming is that just a month before, joining TCFGC, Kawaja was implicated in this court case, Fraser versus Kawaja,
Wow.
where he was found guilty of drafting a fraudulent will to deceive beneficiaries.
Wow.
And the judge even referred the matter to the police.
Wait, so he was found guilty of fraud,
Yeah.
and then weeks later,
Yeah.
he's put in charge of a company that's handling investor funds.
Right.
That's a huge red flag right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, and it gets even more concerning when you look at, Kawaja's financial situation.
Okay.
He was actually facing bankruptcy proceedings at the same time that investors were being encouraged to, put their money into TCFGC.
So not only did he have this legal judgment against him for fraud,
Right.
but he was also in financial distress.
Yeah.
How is it possible that someone with this kind of background was able to lead a company
Yeah.
that was actively soliciting investments from people?
I mean, that's one of the key questions that we're going to be exploring today.
Yeah.
It speaks to a potential lack of oversight and due diligence on the part of, those who are promoting TCFGC.
Yeah, and one of those promoters was New Capital Inc., or NCL.
Yeah.
They played a major role in kind of, marketing TCFGC to investors.
Right.
But their tactics were far from transparent.
Yeah.
They even went so far as to use the name and image of Duncan Bannatyne,
Right.
a well-known entrepreneur and investor.
Yeah, NCL heavily promoted, TCFGC using Duncan Bannatyne's, name and reputation as a way to attract investors.
Right.
And they actually advertised him as the company's non-executive director.
Which is incredibly misleading because, from what I understand, Bannatyne has publicly stated that he has absolutely no connection with TCFGC.
Exactly.
Whatsoever.
Bannatyne has denied any involvement with the company.
Wow.
Stating that he was never a non-executive director, had no knowledge of their operations, and never gave his consent for his name to be used, in their marketing materials.
So they were essentially capitalizing on Bannatyne's reputation,
Right.
without his knowledge or permission to lure investors into TCFGC.
Yeah.
That's incredibly deceptive.
It is, and it really raises serious questions about NCL's ethical conduct and their commitment to transparency, with potential investors.
You would think that a company responsible for advising investors would have at least done their due diligence and uncovered, Kawaja's past legal and financial trouble.
Absolutely. Even a basic background check would have revealed, Kawaja's fraud conviction and his ongoing bankruptcy proceeding.
Wow.
I mean, this information was publicly available.
So instead of thoroughly vetting the individuals behind TCFGC,
Yeah.
they were more focused on aggressively marketing the company.
Right.
And using misleading tactics.
It seems that way. And there's another player in this, kind of complex story that we need to discuss.
Okay.
Westbrook Associates.
Okay.
They were also involved in, marketing TCFGC, but their operations are shrouded in secrecy.
What makes Westbrook Associates so mysterious?
Well, for starters, they're registered in Gibraltar, a
Okay.
jurisdiction, known for its corporate secrecy laws.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little public information available about their personnel, and their listed phone number is inactive.
So we have NCL potentially misleading investors with the Bannatyne connection.
Right.
And then this shadowy firm, Westbrook Associates, also involved in promoting TCFGC.
Right.
It's starting to feel like we're uncovering layers of, a very intricate and potentially fraudulent operation.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The lack of transparency surrounding Westbrook Associates adds another layer of complexity to this case.
Yeah.
And it raises further concerns about, where investor funds were actually going.
Yeah. It begs the question, were these funds ever truly invested in sustainable agriculture as promised? Or
Right.
were they channeled into some elaborate scheme for the benefit of those, running the show?
That's a question we need to consider.